Ramba and his brother, they only become the Mahisha after Ramba's death. Ramba mates with the buffalo. Same thing comes, but in a different way. This all happens in the Asuras coming to Kumari Gandam, where it merges with the Sanskrit Puranas. Before handing it over, I'm just giving an introduction. We'll talk about it later more. Where it merges is that as per Bhagavatam, as per Matsya Purana, the first avatar, Matsya avatar, it happens to a king called Manu. Before Manu, Vishnu comes. This Manu, in Sanskrit Purana also, is a Dravidian prince, is a Chera prince. It comes in Sanskrit Purana. In Tamil Puranas also. Manu is the one who does first Vedic sacrifice. Who Vishnu comes and teaches them. Why Vishnu comes and teaches them, that is all I put in the book. This is because the Asuras realize that all of them, except the people in Satyaloka, the true world, they are all simulations. They are in Maya. They are living in Maya, and there is something missing from this entire world, which is Shakti. The energy is missing, and that Shakti has been born as Meenakshi. To grab her, the Asuras are coming. That's why Mahishasura tries to marry Durga. He wants to wed Durga in Devi Bhagavatam. All these links, all these things gets linked, and I'm trying to link these two Puranas because it is there, both in Tamil and Sanskrit is there. I'm just building a bridge of it, and it reads like science fiction. So it's not per se I'm writing as a science fiction. It's exactly like how it is, but it reads like a science fiction written for today. It is as modern as that if we delve deeply into it. So the same Mahishasura story, familiar story, told in a totally different way, coming from a totally different tradition. Now why, before handing over, why it is called Kanya Kumari is because of a myth which happens. The belief is that Kumari Kandam, because of the war between Devi Durga or Meenakshi with Mahishasura, had sunk. It's such an intergalactic kind of war, the entire continent sinks in the ocean. So what happens in Matsya Purana when the flood comes is a myth of the great flood, which you find across the cultures, you find it in Epic of Gilgamesh, you find it in Egyptian lores, you find them in Maori's tales in New Zealand, you find it with American Indians, with Africans. Why there is this myth of the great flood? You find it in Bible and Quran, the Noah's Ark. This myth is there, is the same myth of Kumari Kandam, where because of this war, the entire Kumari Kandam sinks, and the Matsya Avatar takes the people who accepts the Vedas and the sacrifice. Manu is the first person who does the first sacrifice. The Matsya takes them to the Meru and to the mouth of Saraswati, from where the Vedic civilization starts, when the continent sinks. So what happens to the people who are left over? They are saved by Devi, and she brings them to the new land, the dry land, which is called the Virgin Kumari, the new Kumari or Kanya Kumari. That's why there's a Devi temple there, the Kanya Kumari is there, and from there, from the south to east, the cult of Devi spreads. This cult of Shiva, I won't call it cult, the belief of Shiva spreads. So you can find this strain of Vedic and non-Vedic, Vedic or Tantric, the two strains in Hinduism, these two merging, this had split in Kumari Kandam, is the belief. So this philosophy, how it came, how the Vedic civilization came, how the Chaturvarna came, because Manu is the one who writes Manusmriti, and the Chaturvarna is given to him, how it came as a stream from one side, and how the all-accepting nature of the Shaktism comes, where Devi takes everyone together, whoever is left from this fold, everyone together, there are no taboos. The Durga takes them, the Mother Goddess takes them. So that is the other strain of Hinduism, which always merged and sometimes had conflict. Even now we can see that how it came about, the book is all about that. Thank you.
I think we can make out all over again why Anand is such a fascinating storyteller, because I think he's triggered off that interest in most of us seated here, that we now have to pick up the copy of the book and read. Coming to you, Satyarth, because Mahagatha is also there for us to discuss and talk about. I'm just taking the strain from what Anand just said, because when we were talking, you were mentioning this about the voices of women writing and also in Mahabharata. So if you would like to throw some light on that.
So yeah, that I think is one of the most fascinating aspects of our Purans. The way women are treated, the way women are presented. You know, we today talk about gender equality, the need for feminism, but the Puranas have been there, done that, and in the most glorious and epic way possible. So when I was writing Mahabharata and I was reading the Purans, it was so fascinating to come across the kind of stories, you know, and how they celebrate the power of the Shakti, the sacred feminine, so to speak. Like this one very beautiful story in Mahabharata, which I discovered, which has become quite a rage across festivals. Whenever I talk about it, they're like, this is a beautiful story. So it so happens one day that all the gods come to Brahma and they look extremely famished. So Brahma says, what is the matter? And the gods reply, we don't have enough food to eat. So Brahma says, how is that possible? I have made a very proper symbiotic system where when yajnas happen on earth, the humans pour oblations in the fire, and those, it is called havish in Sanskrit, that is supposed to reach you as your food. And I know that enough sacrifices are happening downstairs on earth. So how come we're not getting food? And Agni folds his hands and says, I don't seem to have the